Hey y'all, what's up? Chad Wright coming at you here once again on the channel, Team Righteous. I know it's been a minute since I've been back at y'all. I've been doing a lot of different things that's been going on. Been working on motorcycles again. We got the 750 over here, and I've just now started taking on a manager position at a new restaurant here locally. So I've been doing that as well. So I've been doing a lot of different stuff and got some good news here. So I'm gonna flip it around. Look at this old raggedy 750 here that I got. All right. So y'all remember this old bike here that I had. This is my Side Chick 2.0. So y'all remember I used to have the 06 GSXR 750. Didn't do a lot of videos with it, but I did have some videos of me riding it and stuff. So anyways, the last time we had this bike right here on the video, we were rewiring it and everything. So one of my friends sent me an ECU for this thing. So we have got the ECU in and got everything wired up. So all the wiring and stuff got done. The wiring for the charging system. So I put some good wires on it and I'm gonna go straight to the battery, bypass all the factory stuff. That way we don't have to worry about having any charging system issues. But anyways, I'm gonna flip it back around here to me for a minute. So we're gonna go over some more stuff and some things that we're planning to do with this bike here. So like I said, we've done all that there, got it running and everything. That is a GSXR 600 ECU in a GSXR 750. It makes it run, doesn't make it run well. But we did make it run, got it riding down the road, going down the road and everything. It didn't run too great at part throttle, the mid throttle, or part throttle, low throttle area there. Didn't do too good. Mid throttle to mostly wide open, like 3/4 throttle, done pretty good. So it would run decent there, just to be able to ride the bike. Like I said, I wanted to make sure everything on it was good, everything was kosher, and once I got that right there, everything else was good. We also, can't tell if you can tell, but let's see here. We'll get back here. Replace the tires on the back. We had to rebuild the brake system on it because they was all gummed up with nasty water and everything in there. The seals were sticking, so the pistons were sticking on the front brakes. Redone all that there. What else we done? Like I said, we've done tires on it, front and back, new chain and sprockets. I left the stretch on it, and I've got a few haters about that out there. But y'all know we're going to go to the drag strip with this bike too, so always something going on. But anyways, what do we got going on now? I'm going to flip it back around here and talk to you about what we got going on. Alright y'all, so here's the important parts of what we got going on here. And I'm going to bring y'all along with me on this journey. So we have got the on-bike harness to be able to flash the ECU. So y'all remember we used to have the dyno before at the old shop. Well, we don't have that no longer, but we do have Woolich, so we can go back to tuning bikes. And I've got the on bike harness here, and one more thing that we got coming up. Hold on one second. All right, y'all, so here it is. This is just part of it, but this is either, I call them Zeitronix, but that may be wrong. It may be a Zeitronix, but anyways, we got the wideband to be able to record our air fuel. We can log everything on here. We got a log box as well that comes with this, so we're gonna be able to tap into the exhaust that's on the bike here. Already got that, so we're gonna do all that stuff as well. So everything in there is gonna be good to go. Alright y'all, so here's the plan anyway. So like I said, we've got the wideband so we can record our data on the bike. We've got the Woolich software so we can record the data to that. The logbox has got a memory card on it, so we'll be able to record the data to that. Then we're going to be able to go into the bike and tune it and make changes. So with that there being said, so the plan with this bike is like it sits right now. Not very pretty, nothing special going on with it. All thing I've done to it so far is just to make it run better, is to flash a 750 tune into it, and it's slightly adjusted some, so it's got some kind of a flash in it. I don't know whose it was. It was just one that I found on Woolich's website, so I'll use that. So anyway, so it does have a tune in it. It's just not a great tune, I don't think. We'll find out later on once we get this thing right here going, but now it runs like it's supposed to without cutting up and everything else like it did with the 600 ECU. So done all that stuff. Anyways, I'm going to bring y'all along with me as we go through these things. And I've got a draggy as well. So I'm going to take the draggy, go to our spot in Mexico, and we're going to go test it, see what kind of results we get, and then we'll come back here, make our adjustments, and go back and test it again, see if we make any improvements, see what happens with it. So we're going to go from there and see what happens. So anyway, all right, so I had to get it going back again. So I'm over here pushing buttons and stuff on accident. But anyways, we're going to hook all this stuff right here up. Like I said, I've already got it going here. It's probably not going to work. It's not going to let me flip it around then because I got it locked in on my face here with the camera. But I've already got the Woolich stuff wired into the bike. I'm going to install the Zeitronix wideband and O2 sensor and everything. Get all out there, put on the bike and everything, and then we'll go to Mexico, do some testing, see what kind of data we record, and then start making adjustments and see what all we need to do to the bike. So like I said, I got data. I'll be able to see what it's doing right now. It feels like it's running pretty decent. I've already got the bike geared too, so it's down 1, up 2. So it pulls pretty strong, but we'll have to see, you know, like I said, what kind of numbers we can get with the draggy, and then make those changes and see, you know, see what's going on. See if we can make some improvements with tuning and everything. And the good thing is with this right here is I'll be able to take this wideband off and put it on my Busa, the Wraith, be able to put it on there, be able to put it on anybody else's bike that's got an O2 sensor bung in it, and be able to record their data as well. So all the thing you'll have to do if we do a street tune here with your bike is we'll take it and put everything on there. I've got everything that's needed. All thing you'll have to buy is just the on-bike harness, and then it'll stay on your bike all the time. So it's pinned in and everything else. It's no problem to do it out there. Then, you know, we'll take it and put the flash box on there and take the wideband on there, go to the track with it and track tune it there, or we can go to the street and street tune it there, depending on where it needs to be tuned at or what you're trying to do with the bike. So anyways, we got this information. We're going to take this information and then apply it and see if we can make the Sidechick 2.0 even faster. So we'll be back at y'all probably in a day or so once we get everything out here wired up, working like it's supposed to, and I start getting some data and everything. I'll start bringing y'all that data and showing y'all what's going on with it. So we'll be back at y'all after a while. All right, y'all, we're back. So I wanted to show y'all that we got the Zeitronix AFR wideband system. It's connected on the bike and everything, and we also have the Woolich log box on the bike as well. So we're able to tune the bike, so we're able to ride it in the street, see what the AFRs are and everything like that out there, and able to tune the bike. So I'm gonna flip it around here and let y'all see this. So y'all know, ugly duckling ain't very pretty. This is the Sidechick 2.0, but she ain't too pretty right now. But my best friend took care of me, and we're gonna make it good looking. So on the next video, y'all get to see that and see what difference no fairings versus fairings will have. But anyways, you know, I would never just like throw stuff like this in here and ever expect it to live like this. But right now, this right is just temporary stuff. But anyways, we got the wideband meter here, and then we got the Woolich log box. But once we get done with this right here, everything in here will be cleaned up. I'm not going to ever leave anything looking like this. So if you ever think that I'm going to work on your bike and stuff's just going to be hacked and thrown up in there, that's not going to happen. But like I said, right now, it's just temporary. It also comes with, though, if you keep this on your bike, you can also, this is extra, but you can get a gauge here so you can street tune it a little bit more, and you'll just have to remember kind of where your throttle position was and stuff like that there. If you you know, don't want to keep the log box on, because as of current, the log box doesn't log much more than about, I think, like 5 to 8 minutes or something like that right there. But anyways, we're going to take this thing down here. We're going to do some 60 to 130 pulls over in Mexico. So we're right down the road from Mexico. We're just going to go down here and see what this thing right here to do. So we're going to get an idea of what it'll do, and then I'm going to start tuning the bike, making adjustments in the ECU, on the air-fuel ratio, on the timing and everything like that right there. And it's already got a flash in there. The flash is from some other company that had, or some other shop that had put a flash on Woolich for you to use. So I use that one just to get something to start with, but I'm not sure, you know, if it's gonna be any good or not. I know on the part throttle cruising, it's a little rich, so I'm probably gonna have to adjust that too. So anyways, we're gonna go down here, see what this thing right here to do. I'll get y'all some results after a while, and then we'll make some tuning adjustments, and we'll see how much this thing right here can pick up. All right, y'all, so we're back here. Y'all saw one of the runs there that we got when we went out there to Mexico to be able to test the bike, and also I'm using my cell phone here to record this video, so my eyes look a little funny. It's because I'm, of course, looking at the screen, which makes you look like you're not looking at the camera and all that stuff. But anyways, it's neither here nor there. But anyways, we went out to Mexico, made a few pulls, some 60 to 130 pulls to be able to tune the bike. So one, the 60 to 130 pull gives me the information on my draggy. I'm going to show that to y'all here. So this right here is our first run, and we went a 905, and then after some tuning, made some adjustments and everything, and came back. I had to make multiple different adjustments to get to these numbers, but I ended up knocking it down like 7/10. So yeah, so we went to 905 on our first pull, and that was leaving in first gear. So I did try it leaving in second gear, and that's where the tune here comes from. But leaving in second gear and doing a 6130 pull ends up not making not leaving as hard, and so that ended up making it not run as quick of a time. It slows it down in the short half. So I ended up running slower whenever I left in second gear. So I ended up making adjustments and then coming back and testing my final pull leaving first gear again. So anyways, with that being said, we went the 905 on the first pull, leaving in first gear, and then the last pull we went that 836. And as you can see the numbers, I'm going to put them up here side by side so y'all can see the numbers. And it says invalid. I'm not sure if it's showing here on the screen or not, but it says invalid on the run, and it's because where I run at, it's got a little bit of a downhill slope, and it depends on where I leave at. So it's the exact same point, regardless if it's regardless, it's the exact same road anyways. I'm not like on a different road on top of there. Just sometimes it depends on where you leave at. So depending on where it picks it up at, it counts it to be less or more than 1% slope. But it's still the same hill either way. But anyways, so that's the reason why that data looks like that right there. But anyways, got that right there. Y'all saw, like I said, how we done there. And picked up 7/10, so not too bad. But I'm going to flip it around here and kind of show y'all what we done here working with Woolich. All right, so hopefully this is going to come through clear. I know we're using the TV screen here, but this right here is the run. Now this right here was the run where I went like I think it was like a 916 or 917, but it was the second gear pull. And so like I said, later on it'll go leaving in first gear again to be able to get a better comparison. But leaving in second gear, once we got right here, so this right here on the top, that is the throttle position. So I'm just cruising along, and all of a sudden I pin it right here. So this is where I go wide open at, and this right here lets me know the air fuel ratio down at the bottom in the red, and then the middle there is your RPMs, and the blue line is what gear you're in. So every time you shift a gear, it just steps up. So anyways, air fuel ratio right here, pretty good whenever I first hit it. It's got a little slight rich right there, but then it just goes pig rich right here. It's like 10.9, 11.1. That's a lot of fuel, and I ended up taking a couple of different times to adjust it to get that right there out. Then it comes back around or whatever, and it's kind of rich, which means it's getting too much fuel. And then here we go, we're shifting the second, third, and then fourth. It's shifted in the third, fourth, and fifth. So this is fifth gear right here, and this is the longest gear that you hold. And I go all the way to like 130. Actually, it's about 133 or so, I think, at the top of fifth gear. But I don't really know. Like I said, I have to go all the way to almost hitting the rev limiter for it to be able to register though. But as you can see, we were still rich, very rich, 12.0. So we ended up making adjustments. We adjusted the timing in the ECU, just the same as we used to when we was on the dyno. But we went and adjusted the timing on it, went and adjusted the fuel, adjusted those secondary butterflies, those top ones. That way when you go wide open, they go wide open. So from the factory, they don't do that. But anyways, we made those adjustments here. Everything got cleared up. I'm going to switch around here and let y'all see the last tune and see how much better it looks. Alright, so here we are. And this right here was that last and final pull that I made whenever I went the 836, which is definitely not fast at all for 750. But for those of y'all that don't know, with me with gear on and everything, I'm about 250 pounds. So trying to lose weight, but I haven't got that much off of me yet. Actually ended up gaining weight, over the past year or so. So this year I've been losing weight, but we're just now getting back down to the weight that I was previously. So anyways, this is leaving the first gear, and you see as it went through 10,000, still went a little bit rich, but I can make some adjustments there, but it goes through it so fast too, it's kind of hard to tell. Then second gear, third gear, fourth gear, fifth gear, all that right there, those are all good numbers. If you can see down there where the line's coming down at, we're at 13.2 air-fuel ratio. So getting good results there, and that resulted in the best time that I can get. So those are the numbers that we ended up with. And now we are about to put these fairings on, but that's going to be in the next video. So anyways, appreciate all of y'all. Hit the like button, subscribe, drop down in the comments below. There's been some people that said something about the fairings that I got on there. They also said something about the gearing that I got, but that was my fault in that section too, because I said it had -1 + 5 on it, and it does not. It's got -1 + 2. It's kind of a common, swap that everybody makes on gearing and stuff. And everybody kept telling me how aggressive it was. I'm like, no, it works everything. It works great on the street. Works, pulls good out of the corners. Works good as the drag strip. That's still got to be too much. There's no way it could be working good. Well, that's the reason why, because I put it in there wrong. But anyways, I think, especially with my weight, I think this gearing right here is ideal. And I proved it whenever they said, try leaving a second. Well, lost a tenth. Put it back to first gear or whatever, and it made a difference. And I'm looking at those short times too as well. And then the very last pass that I made or whatever, made a big difference again, and got some of those numbers back as well, down low. And then the biggest gain that I made, honestly, is from 120 to 130 mile per hour. Like that stretch right there was the one that made the biggest gain, to knock, I think, almost a half a second off on one of those times. So it's good to see that result there too. Like that part surprised me. Usually you would think you would make most of your gains down low, and you don't with this bike right here, so far anyways. But what do y'all think is going to happen when we put these new fairings on? So this thing's going to have fairings on it. I'm almost sure that I got the ram air tubes to be able to get the ram air from the very front of the bike. Now there's no fairings on it at all, and no ram air tubes, so the air is able to get to the frame, but of course it's not, as ideal as it should be, because it's not getting it from the very front. And it will be, in the way they're designed or whatever, it's supposed to get the air from up there, and it's a better design than it is if you get it from some random place or whatever. It starts getting turbulence around it and stuff, so it doesn't get as much of it coming in. So what will happen? Will it go leaner, and I'll have to make some fuel adjustments again, or will it just be able to get a little bit better air to help it out there? And then the aerodynamics. So how much do y'all think this is really going to matter? I'd say maybe I could see a tenth, maybe from the fairings or whatever. But I'd be shocked if we can get this thing out here from an 830 something to into the 7s with me on it. Now I'm pretty sure I can put a lightweight guy on there and easily be into the 7s, if not even quicker. Probably mid 7s for sure. But I don't have a light guy to come through and ride right now. So anyways, appreciate all of y'all though. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, share this video out, and drop down in the comments below, like, what do y'all think about this right here? And if you're looking to get your ECU flashed, 2006, 2007 GSXR 750, I got you. Hit me up, drop down in the comments below. I can get you my contact information. I am back flashing ECUs again, but I don't have all my old tunes. So some of y'all knew all my old tunes and stuff I had. I don't have all of those. I got a few, very few, and they're like a Gen 2 Hayabusa. Like that's the only things that I have. I got that. I've got an 0708 Gixxer 1000. I can do those currently, and I have tunes for those. And then a 2011 plus GSXR 600. I have those tunes as well. So I've got those on the computer here. That's all the ones I had access to. So I've got that. So if you're looking to get one of those ECUs flashed, hit me up, drop down in the comments below, and I'll get you my contact information, and you can get it shipped to me. And we're still going to do it the same price I was doing a few years ago for right now. So $225. That's me getting the ECU, flashing it, and shipping it back to you. So you ain't got to pay no shipping, no extra, anything else. If there's a possibility that I can add a two-step to it, I'm not going to charge you no extra right now. We're going to do that with there, just free of charge. So I can do a two-step on some bikes. But if it's a Gen 2 Busa, an 0708 1000, those newer 600, 750s, those ones that I can do, I know I can put one on those. So if you want to get that there done, pops and bangs, I can't do all that stuff out there. I'm not Chris Moore. That guy out there has got a skill on doing something like that out there that I haven't learned how to do yet. Not saying that I would never do it, but for right now, I don't have the ability. So anyways, appreciate it all y'all. Y'all have a good one.